La radio des aigles.
Dear audience, welcome back for ELARAK'S Interview, Episode 2. Today's special episode is under the theme of cinematography. As you know, we always make sure to bring the most distinguished and experienced guests. Today's invitee is a woman that is widely respected for her work with US and UK producers. Born and raised in Marrakesh, she has made her marks in the Moroccan cinematography. Today's invitee is Mrs. Sana ELKILALI. Good evening, Mrs. Sana.
Hi, Dunia. First of all, I would like to thank you, your colleagues, and Iraqi school directors and staff for your invitation to your ambitious radio.
So now I'm going to ask you a few questions. My first question is, how did your story with filmmaking start? If you could share with us briefly your career.
When I was studying, no one from my generation has ever dreamed in becoming a filmmaker. This job we dreamed of were very limited. Either we dreamed to be a doctor, an engineer, a teacher. In general, they were classical jobs. So I studied management, and my first job was at the sales department at Sheraton. After that, my uncle, who is my mentor, offered me to switch to film business and encouraged me to follow his paths, as he discovered the filmmaking and found it very interesting on big Hollywood projects. I started then as an accountant and liked it. After many years, I realized by working in the film industry, I am not in the right departments, because my work in accounting was only about numbers and finance and nothing close to the magical side of the films. After Prince of Persia, I decided to move to production. I worked as production manager on a small project. I really enjoyed it. I was involved with the creative side of filming, reading the script, finding the right location, right cast, right costumes, and right art department, and so on. I was so passionate with this new position that I've reached so quickly higher positions and became a line producer on studios' movies.
Well, that is surely an interesting career path, really. Now, let's move on to our next question. If you could give an advice for youngsters who would like to get into the filmmaking industry, what would it be?
The advices I would say to the young generation, first, they are very lucky. The filming industry is very accessible now, and it's really a wonder world. The key to success, as for all other jobs, is to love what you do and be passionate about it. Focus and work seriously. Try to go beyond your limits and challenge yourself. Be creative all the time. And of course, the teamwork is a key to it in the industry. Values and respect are also essential to build a very successful career.
Well, dear audience, these are surely advice that I advise you to note. Moving on to our next question, this one. Rumor gives that you are currently working on the sequel of the famous Gladiator movie. Could you tell us about it if possible?
Those are not rumors. It's true that Gladiator II will be shot in Morocco. We are in production now, and the shoot is later in the year. But I'm contracted with a confidentiality agreement, so I'm not allowed to communicate about the project. Sorry about this.
Well, I made sure to make some bonus questions. My next question is, this one is a little bit personal for you. Knowing that producing is a quite, time-consuming job, I would like to ask you, how can someone manage to balance between personal and professional life?
Really, what helped me balancing between my personal life and my professional career is that a lot of projects were shot in Marrakesh, which is my hometown. When I had to travel, it was only for a few days or a couple of weeks, but I always managed to spend the weekend with my family. Also, my husband was of a really great support to me. He is a very caring father, and he helped me to build my career, for which I will never thank him enough.
Moving on to our last question. Last but not least, knowing that you have a wide experience in filmmaking and producing, Could you give us the 3 movies that you loved working on?
The 3 movies I loved working on. The first one was Babel. We had a great director and a great story, and we had a very limited budget with a very big cast, Brad Pitt and Kate Blanchett. So we were all the time challenging ourselves to deliver very good results, and really we enjoyed working with the director and the casts. John Wick was a very challenging shoot, but we had a great actor on it, Keanu Reeves. He was just a great human being. He spread out a lot of positivities on our days, even if they were tough. Another movie I enjoyed working on is not released yet. It's called Afghan Dreamers. It's a great story to tell to the whole world. We had to recreate the real story of the Afghan girls who won the first prize in New Mexico. And this prize has changed their life and changed the girl's life in Afghanistan. It's really, really great story.
Well, I thank you for sharing your journey with us. It was really lovely to have you as an invitee for today's episode. And to our dear audience, I hope that you liked today's episode. And I thank you very much for accepting to be on our show today. Thank you.
La radio des aigles.